Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ethany's 31 Days of Tarot 2019. And today's prompt is brought to us by Nya Thryce, and it is from the Major Arcana cards, what card correlates to your sun, moon, and rising sign, and how has that resonated or played out in your life? So I'm kind of glad this prompt came up because I thought I had figured out my moon and rising signs earlier last year when I was trying to learn astrology, and I had my diagram printed out and I was trying to figure out my signs based on the diagram. And turns out I had effed that up, and trying to double check for this prompt, making sure. Turns out I was wrong. So I actually used this book that I got over the holidays as a gift to figure out my signs. And then to double check that, I plugged it into one of those online generated reports. So I am fairly confident that between this and between the internet, I have all my signs down correctly. So I am a Gemini Sun, a Taurus Moon, and a Virgo Rising. So based on the Golden Dawn associations, the Gemini Sun, the card associated with the Gemini is the Lover's card. And this is the Dreaming Way Tarot. So the way this card has played out in my life, I would say that I have definitely over the years have grown to cultivate really good and healthier relationships. I have kept people in my life who have added to it, and I have basically phased out the people who have not added to my life. Those people who kind of bring unneeded drama your way, and maybe the personalities are just no longer fit, or you grow apart. And I'm sure some of you can relate to maybe hanging on to friendships because of the history that you two have had. But ultimately, people change and circumstances change, and whatever the factors, the friendship is no longer useful or nourishing or valuable to either of you. And it's not always a contentious thing. Sometimes it's just a natural shift. But when I was younger, I would definitely hold on to friendships that didn't really serve me because of that history. And because I felt that obligation, because this person and I had such a long past together. And since then, over the years, I have let go of that. My second card for my moon sign, which is Taurus, is the Hierophant. When I think of my spiritual path, any mentors or guides that I might have had, I actually think of my parents and the fact that they really didn't force any religion on me, which I think is interesting given that they're immigrants and very traditional and conservative in a lot of ways, especially given their culture and the generation that they grew up in. They were just great about not forcing me to be any particular religion. My mom's side was Buddhist. My dad's side was, I think they were Christian or Catholic, but neither of them practiced. And they certainly did not enforce either one of those spiritual paths on me. I did, as a young kid, go to church for a time and had to wear the uniform and do the youth group thing. And My parents worked a lot, so actually they were not the ones to take me to church. I would tag along with a friend and her parents. But ultimately, I just got bored with church. I think a lot of kids feel that way. I didn't have a terrible experience with Christianity. There were just other things I'd rather be doing, didn't want to go. And my parents were actually great about not forcing me to keep going to church. And they were great about it all throughout my childhood because I was able to explore different avenues on my own. And at this point in time, I'm still trying to figure things out in terms of my spirituality. All right, final card for my rising sign, which is Virgo, and that is the Hermit. And I can see how this is strongly played out in my life. One aspect of this card, I think of solitude, and I have come to be honest with myself and accept the fact that I am a very introverted person and I do need a lot of solitude. I need that time to recharge and to be by myself. And also in terms of introspection, growing up and in my 20s, I was definitely more hot-headed and defensive, and now I am not perfect by any means, but I feel like I've taken great strides in catching myself when I have strong reactions, and taking a step back and trying to be more introspective, trying to turn inward, trying to unpack any difficult feelings that I might be experiencing at the time. So I think that the Hermit, definitely, I can see that as a strong thread throughout my life. Thank you to Nya for this prompt. Please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your responses to this prompt. All right, guys, I will see you for day 14. Take care.